welcome to Acute Education. Today we are going to talk about acute bronchitis. It's kind of windy outside, and acute bronchitis caused mainly from wind, either cold or heat. So we have 5 patterns, and most of the time when we say acute in a biomedical term, we will use wind something in TCM term, because the wind can flow freely and attack you easily at the first place. Okay, so wind cold is causing minor respiratory signs like sinus congestion or just a little bit discomfort on your throat. You might not even pay attention on that, and your immune system sometimes will fight for yourself, so we won't see that much in the clinical setting, and you may not hear this formula that often, 三奥汤, but the ingredient 麻黄, 杏仁, and 甘草, only 3 ingredients. One has been forbidden in US market. 麻黄is still really helpful, but of course when you draw some attention by certain cases, you just easier forbidden for good, right? Okay, so but 杏仁 and 甘草 still available, and 杏仁 is one kind of almond. 甘草 is a root we use to harmonize like honey function. So later you will hear a lot of these 2 ingredients in different formulas. And since we won't see you in the clinic that often, only because wind cold symptoms, you can acupressure at home to help yourself. So there's only 4 acupressure points you can use. Actually, it's the basic one. Of course, you can use more, right? Okay, let's take a look. So long channel. Long channel is following on all this edge of it. Like if you just face on the edge, long channel is from your chest, go all the way down to your radial side of your thumb. Interesting, the whole long channel is on the edge of it. Only this long 7 goes a little bit lateral to it, and it's 1.5 inch higher. We can say distal. Actually, it's proximal to yourself, right? So if it's just find, you see this right here, a protruded bone structure. That's your long 7. We always just follow, you see? This a little bulge out. Here's your long 7. It's not comfortable to press too hard, but it's really efficient when you just give some pressure on it, and you will slightly feel sore. And large intestine 4 is the command point for all your discomfort on your face, and of course include your nose, mouth, eyes, which is right here, right? We just, there it is. And how we find another way, if you squeeze your index and your thumb, you will see the middle of your muscle bulge out here. Large intestine 4. Do not use the first trimester of pregnancy. I noticed when you reach the 2nd and the 3rd, of course the 3rd one you're trying to promote labor, but later on it's not as severe as you are doing on the first trimester. It's quite dangerous to them. And the 3rd one is UB13. It's specific for lung and located on the level of your lung too. It's on the back of it. It's on urinary bladder channel, 1.5 lateral to it. And when you touch, it's the hardest point to touch by yourself because if you're not flexible or you got tight on your shoulder, you might feel limited to reach back. But this point is really efficient to protect all your lung and respiratory concerns. Where is it? It's right to this is your scapular, the most inner spot on your scapular, and in the middle between your spine and the most inner part of your scapular, you will find this UB13. And if you watch my video before, of course, the previous videos may have some audio track problem. You might need to volume up, but if you watch carefully, you will notice I mentioned it's like a movement for chicken. Usually use that movement, by the way. So how we prevent our lymph nodes and how we exercise in healthcare, you can simply just raise up your arm and then clip. You know how helpful with this vibration you create from your shoulder and your arm to your rib cavity and inside of your internal organ, lung and heart. So this one looks simple, but if you repeatedly doing, I'm doing 30 times or more before I go to sleep. So it feels like you feels warmer, and you even feels a little bit itchiness. It's like you have some exercise of running and you feel some itchy on your skin. That kind of feeling. You can tell it's helpful. Just need to be consistently doing the same thing. Okay, the last one is 三焦 5. 三焦 5 is right here. We can just, this is your crease, and 2-inch proximal to yourself will be 三焦 5 in the center. I remember I do acupuncture demonstration online before, so that's the 三焦 5 I'm using to open up. We call it outer gate of yourself, and closest enough for you to reach by yourself. So you open up yourself to the outer gate, and of course when you acupressure yourself, make sure you are in the environment that either not much wind or safe or inside of the house, so you can let your body relax and just focus on getting the benefits from acupressure. Okay, the next one is wind heat. Wind heat, you will suffering some low-grade fever, but still not too often. You might just have a short periods of low-grade fever, or maybe just feeling flash at night, and then you recover, or you feeling better during the day. So it's like on and off pattern, and you're still able to suffer if you're not going to see any doctor. At this point, you will use Sang Ju Yin. It's a herbal tea we commonly drink. Even though I don't have any of the symptoms, I drink maybe just once or every other day for prevention, especially for flu season. This is called Sang Ju Yin. Includes Sang Ye, Ju Hua, Bo He. So Sang Ye is white mulberry leaf. It's really common if you like farmer market, you will be able to see it. And Juhua, of course, the wild yellow daisy, little daisy, and the mint leaf. The mint we can get from grocery store. And the later one is 桔梗 杏仁. I mentioned almond, one kind of almond. and 连翘、乳根、甘草. So you hear 杏仁 you can be used almost all of these formulas. We use 杏仁、甘草, right? So almond is not bad when you actually eat it raw as a nut, but don't eat too much if you have low blood pressure or you have weaker constitution. It will drop your blood sugar really fast. Okay, so we might not even see this kind of patient. Why? Because still just the minor symptoms you may be able to deal with yourself at home. So acupressure still works, same UB13 that I mentioned on the back, between your right in the middle between your scapular the most inner point of your scapular and the spine, which is on your thoracic 3 level. And long 5 is something we have here. Why? Because when you have wind heat, you dry yourself up. You might feel some congestion on your chest, not only for your nose. You might feel some flame congested even though you don't have it. So this time you will use long 5. Long 5 is really easy to locate as well, because I mentioned so many times on large intestine 11, which is right from this crease to here. So long 5 is right on the edge of the end of your crease, elbow crease. You will find long 5. If you flex your elbow, you will find a tendon here, and on the downside of your tendon, it's a long 5. You can, because it's acupressure, so you can actually pressure for a bigger areas of it. And large intestine 11, I just mentioned, we commonly use to release any kind of heat. It's from here to the crease and in the middle. So a little bit reach the crease, at the end of your crease line is long 5, and a little bit going down it's large intestine 11. Of course, when you go even more, you will touch your bone. So we don't hit your bone, we don't try to hit your nerve or any vessel, any lymph nodes. Keep that in your mind. If someone tell you, I'm trying to target your nerve get stimulated because your body reaction. It's not because the needle trying to hit it. Okay, so the last one is the most common one we use for release all the heat, and it have a double effect. Means if we needle this UB14, it's right on the back of your neck, and it's on the right beneath your C7 and between your C7 and T1. And if you knock down your head, you will find the most bulged out bone, and right beneath that bone it's your UB14. And depends on how we needle it, because you might see people just go in and out. That's we are not tonifying you or sedate anything. So when we do some needle with like sedations or tonifications, it will give a different effect from the same points. There's several points that have this double effects. Means you can go this way to help it, you can go this way to sedate it. How interesting is that? Because our body is quite mystery. Of course, let's just go. Remember, right now we commonly use it to release the heat on your UB14. Okay, after these 4 points, your passenger getting a little bit deeper, but still stuck on your upper part of your body in your lung, which causing by dry heat. So you have dry mouth, thirsty, and all kinds of dryness showing on your skin, on your lip, on your facial complexions. You will use 伤性汤, and at this point you will see people coming to search for medical help. And 伤性汤 includes 桑叶, we just mentioned is white mulberry leaf, and 栀子. 栀子 is a red fruit, dry fruit that clear heat efficiently, but it will cause you a little diarrhea if you use too much dose. However, here just use 3 grams, so it's quite small, considered as small dosage. If we use 3 to 9 grams, consider small dosage. And 蛋豆豉 is prepared black soybean. Is like processed aged soybean. It becomes black color. And I remember I introduced at first place in Acute talk. Like I show you a bag of black soybeans that we even use for some fried dishes. Okay, and 杏仁, again you hear this again, almond. 折贝母 is quite expensive. You're surprised. Ginseng is supposed to be the most expensive. Wild ginseng is supposed to be the most expensive herb. It is wild one. But if you just mention random ginseng, it could be as cheap as affordable price. But 折贝母 is commonly the most expensive range of the herb. It's slighted root herb, but it's really get it. So 折贝母and 川贝母, these two, they are commonly cost you more. And it's really helpful when we use in the formula to treat anything that help causing your cough or phlegm. So we still use them. No substitutions. 沙参 is another kind of ginseng. And 梨皮, can you believe not only we can eat pear, but also we can use the peel of the pear to treat you. The 梨皮is kind of like cooling you down. We don't eat it, but we just boil into the formula. It's like watermelon peel. We still slide it, the greenish outer layer, and eat the red part and leave the white part. You slide it to stir fry. It's really tasty like cucumber. So have even cooler function. So 梨皮 have the similar function of it. The peel of pear. Okay, so we use 4 acupuncture points, UB13 and LU9 that I mentioned again. This is a good combination. Pair up together. One is on your back, the other one is on your arm. And kidney 7 and large intestine 1. Kidney 7 is interesting points that, hey, so this is your tip of your medial malleolus, and this is your kidney 3. 2 inch above will be your kidney 7, and a little bit before your anterior to it will be your kidney 8. And then a little bit above, 1 inch above, will be your spleen 6. These 3 points are quite interesting, close to each other, but we use bone measurement, so do not hit anything. That's really close to our vessels, so kidney 3, and then kidney 7. Kidney 7 we also call build a point for giving you a beautiful baby. So you will see people commonly use spleen 6 combined with kidney 7 help for fertility patient. Well, probably just because anti-aging and fertility and anti-anxiety is my specialty. So every time I mention something, it will goes to some knowledge embedding into this common disease that we see here. Okay, and large intestine 1 is right here. This is your thumb, this is your index finger, and this is the nail bed corner. It's just right on this corner of it here, on your thumb side, radial side. And we call it like open spot for all your, so we have all these 10 open spots on your fingernails. And then when we use it, it's like emergency or release your acute either heat or you lose your conscious. So how effect of that? So large intestine 1 is not a comfortable point to needle it, but once you use it, it's quite efficient. Okay, next one, it's a little complicated. Exteriorly cold plus interiorly heat causing your acute bronchitis. Actually, this is the most common pattern in TCM match up with this acute bronchitis biomedical term. You will have chills and fever, you will have asthma, you will have difficulty breathing, you will have cough. It sounds like everything we heard right now. People coughing, oh, be careful, you might got COVID-19. So there are a lot of patterns that to differentiate. But of course, when we go into biomedical term, it's getting more serious. So we use 麻杏石甘汤. 麻杏石甘汤 is a common one that we use before, since 麻黄 has been forbidden from FDA, so it's not too often we use here. We have 麻黄 inside, and we have 杏仁 almond again, and we even have gypsum. Gypsum is a mineral, it's white mineral like a rock. 石膏 and 甘草, 杏仁甘草. You heard 杏仁甘草everywhere, at least for our respiratory symptoms everywhere. So if you eat 杏仁a little amount regularly, it can prevent. Okay, this one you can learn the name of the herbal formula. They directly from these 4 ingredients, but we still use acupuncture the most. And this part we have 6 points selected, and you use most of the time you use oblique angle, not perpendicular, oblique angle on your chest and on your upper back area. So don't well, of course you choose correct licensed practitioners, then you don't need to worry about is that needle go too deep. No, because you have 4 layers of muscle prevent yourself, and we usually choose shorter length of the needle, and also the angle goes, this is the skin, angle goes oblique, this is perpendicular, and sometimes we will use subcutaneous level. Okay, so UB13 we mentioned so many times, and 1 inch above on T2 is UB12. UB12. Okay, so it's a gate of the wind, and which means when we needle it, it open up the gate of the wind to release every passengers from your body. So this combination, UB13, long 5, and UB12 can help your exterior cold and interior heat. And also, long 5 have a matchup points on your leg, which is stomach 40. Some 40, I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, for all this flame, visible, invisible, even for hypertension, people like to use it. This is your knee, this is your ankle, right in the middle of it, and it's a little bit lateral. So all the points of stomach is on this right next to your tibia. But this one, stomach 40, is one more finger breadth wider on your tibia in the middle on your leg. A little tender, but should be avoid your muscle belly, so should be fine. Just a little sore sensation, and after all, you feel like your muscle, the feeling of you work out in the gym, and then you feel soreness from your muscle. And last two one is long 11 and run 22. Long 11 is the radial side, the end of the long channel. It's also a strong point to stimulate it. Right next to your nail, corner of your nail, and on the edge of it. And run 22 here. You feel this sternum, and the top of the sternum is a huge cave in. This is where your run 12. And when you press on it, you don't poke on this muscle. You touch the top edge of your sternum and you go in, not poke, perpendicular, and you go in. You can use your finger just gently acupressure it, or of course we do needle. We still not poke in. We are following your sternum and this suprasternal fossa. We're going through there safely. Okay, the last one, since everything is trying to invading your body, if even though for acute, for long level, for your upper inner organ level, upper jiao, you will get weaker. So long qi can failing to disperse. So long qi is like that. You want to disperse, it's like you are singing, like a wave. So it prefer to go a little bit dispersed, but if your long qi fail to disperse, you got a lot of coughing. You feel like I'm just want to cough. A cough make me feel better, but it made me look bad in the public. So we will use Zhi Sou San. Literally means stop your cough decoction or stop your cough pill. So at this point, you will have sputum, and you will clearly feel that you're afraid of wind. You want to cover yourself. If you feel that way, do that. Do not avoid only because fashion or stylists. Just do it. If you feel like a wind come, I go out, I want to cough. I expose my chest or neck area, I feel like I want to cough. Just cover it with scarf or anything. They have 紫菀、百部、白钱、橘红、桔梗、荆芥 and 甘草. Do you know what is 橘红? I usually eat this single herb. 橘红 is the red tangerine peel that processed or aged. It's quite tasty. Oh, I should have some sample. It's like a snack, especially for professors or teachers. They've been talking all the time, and you would like to have some Zhi or tangerine peel, or even just orange or tangerine can help. But of course, processed aged one have faster, like concentrated function, right? And you drink as a tea or eat directly. There are 5 points. 5 points of it. These 5 points, because you can tell long qi getting weaker, is not strong enough to disperse. So we will use, of course, the UB13 that we commonly use for this, strengthen your lung or reduce the lungs pathogens, and also lung 9. Lung 9 is the primary point. Like, what is primary point? It's like a resource to generate all the energy for your internal organs. And lung 9 is quite, we need to be careful. We need to push this vessel away. This is your lung 9 on the crease of your wrist. But if you feel you're weaker, you can, like, if you lack of energy, you can just use your finger to press on that. Just no one can tell you what you're doing. You just hold your wrist and then start pressing on that. You will feel much better, and especially good for cardiovascular chronic patients. And spleen 3. So spleen 3 is on here. This is your this is your toes, big toes, and this is your arch. And the first stop on your arch, edge of it, will be your spleen 3. It's the primary point on your spleen channel. And we always say if you can tonify your spleen, it helps to support your lung, because spleen digests everything, absorption from your stomach, and it helps to support your lung qi, because from all our food, it generates the qi to support upper part of your body, which is upper jiao. And the last 2 is stomach 40 that I mentioned on the middle of your leg, and liver 13 is on the end of your 11th rib. It's also the gate open up for spleen. So we call Zhangmen, and if you read Chinese character, you will know Zhangmen also helps Zangfu. That's how I remember. So Zhangmen on the 11th rib helps Zangfu. Zangfu is 5 internal organs and 6 related organs. 5 means liver, lung, kidney, heart, 1 more, spleen. And 6 Zangfu was that? It's stomach and more. We'll talk later. But on this liver 13, it's like a belt. Also, we have our extraordinary meridians, which one is on the belt, is right across our waist. That's overlapping. So liver 13 is quite helpful when you have some weakness, or when you want to open up the meridian for another purpose. We'll talk about later, but do not worry about it's right on my edge of my rib. Everything will be oblique insertion. Alright, this is all we are going to introduce you for today, acute bronchitis, and this is the 5th out of 159 disease. Talk next time. Bye.